Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for July 16th, 2025. It's 6:01 p.m. Joining us tonight, well, first of all, pursuant to our Chapter 2 of the Acts of the 2025, this meeting of the Somerville Zoning Board of Appeals will be conducted via remote participation. A video recording of these proceedings will be available on the city website's meeting and events page or by emailing zoningboard@somerville.gov. Joining us tonight, we have a full board on hand. We have Ann Brockelman, she's our vice chair. We have Ann Fullerton, she'll be our acting clerk this evening. Zach Zaremba, and our two alternate members are Brian Cook and Cecia Daglian, and I'm Ursula Susan Fontano, your chair. We have a nice agenda tonight, so without further ado, we're going to ask the acting clerk to take care of some cleanup business first.
Yes, Madam Chair. So our first case is to open the hearing for 379 Somerville Avenue. We actually have three cases in front of us, or three variances in front of us for that case. We're going to open all of them and then continue them.
Thank you.
So the three variance cases are ZP 25-000058. Brickstone Builders Corp. seeks relief from SCO 4.3.11.E for facade build-out requirements in the mid-rise 5 or MR5 district, which requires a hardship variance. The second variance is case ZP 25-000059. Brickstone Builders Corp. seeks relief from SCO 4.3.8.B for the maximum front yard setback in the MR5 district, which requires a hardship variance. And the third case associated with this address is ZP 25-000060. Brickstone Builders Corp. seeks relief from SCO 4.3.8.D for ground story fenestration requirements for primary facade composition in the MR5 district, which requires a hardship variance. I move to continue all three of these cases until the next zoning board meeting, which if staff can remind me of the date.
August 6th.
August 6th.
May I have a second, please, on the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Zach Zaremba. All in favor, as we go around, please say aye. Zach Zaremba,
Aye.
Ann Brockelman,
Aye.
Ann Fullerton,
Aye.
Brian Cook,
Aye.
and Cecia Daglian.
Aye.
Let the record show we had a full board this evening and all members were all voted in the affirmative. Thank you. Next.
So the next case that we are going to open, and it's also being continued, I believe, Madam Chair?
No, it's going to be re-advertised.
Okay. Are we opening it?
No,
Okay.
no.
Are we just noting for the record what the case
Yes.
is?
Yep.
Okay. So the next case to be addressed is 14 McGrath Highway. There are two special permits attached to this case. They need to be re-advertised for corrected language. They are case numbers ZP 25-000044. Liquor Junction is proposing to expand their alcohol sales business in a commercial business district, which will require a special permit under SCO 4.3.13. Second case number is ZP 25-000063. Liquor Junction is proposing to increase the leasable floor area of their business's use to more than 10,000 square feet in the CB district requiring a special permit.
Thank you. Let the record just show that after they're advertised, we will post a new date for their hearing. No votes necessary, as this was not open tonight. All right, so then the next thing we have to go with is under general business, please. Minutes.
Do you want to do minutes, Madam Chair, or do you want to do general?
I'd like to do minutes.
Okay. We have 2 sets of minutes to vote on tonight. I move to approve the minutes as completed for the Zoning Board of Appeals dated June 4th, 2025 and June 18th, 2025.
Before we get a second and go around for the vote, was there any comments, any corrections anybody had? No, seeing none, they'll be presented as the clerk noticed, and here we go. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ann Brockelman. Ann Brockelman,
Aye.
Ian Fullerton,
Aye.
Brian Cook,
Aye.
Zach Zaremba,
Aye.
Cece Daglian,
Aye.
and Susan Fontano, aye. Let the record show all members voting in the affirmative. Great. Now, Ms. Fullerton, we can go down to the Clarendon Hill project.
All right. Madam Chair, under other business, we have a 40B change request to hear for Clarendon Hill. The case number is 40B 2020-001-R3. And
Thank you. So who's here for the team for Clarendon Hill?
Chair Fontana, this is Kit. I've just promoted John Springfield. If anyone else is here as an applicant, I will promote them once they raise their hand.
Mr. Springfield?
Hey, good
There
evening,
you
Madam
are.
Chair.
I can see you now.
Okay,
Is
great.
there now, what's your role? Who do you represent and what role?
I represent preservation of affordable housing POA as a senior project manager.
Beautiful, thank you. Anybody
Of
else
course.
joining you tonight?
I do believe a couple. Oh, sorry.
Sorry for the background noise. Tim Sinan, Icon Architect.
Tim Sinan. Thank you, Tim. Okay.
I also thought I'd
Oh,
mention.
Kendra,
Hi, nice to see everybody. I'm here as well, architect for the project also, and if needed, I know that our landscape architect is available as well.
thank you. Okay,
And I do have a couple slides. I don't know if it's possible to share it. I think I just requested access, but I don't see a button yet.
Kid, can you take care of John Springfield, please? Oh, here we go. Yeah,
This is Kit. I think I sent over access.
Oh, I see it. Thank you so
Perfect.
much. Okay. I know many members of the board are familiar with this project following the 2020 40B comprehensive permit and the approved and substantial changes in 2022 and 2023. But I know there's some new folks on the board, so just a quick summary. This redevelopment replaces existing obsolete state public housing at Clarendon Hill and West Somerville with newly constructed permanently affordable housing and adds new affordable and unrestricted apartments to create a mixed income community. We are now excited to be close to completing the first phase, which you can see here, and are excited for residents to move in to their new homes in the fall. This next slide shows the location of this first phase and also shows the temporary condition that will exist for residents as phase 2 is under construction. So The proposed modifications that we're submitting for consideration tonight, the first of which relates to the phasing, since it is a multi-phase project. Originally, the site-wide 40B had contemplated a first phase, which included a market rate building that was led by Redgate Residential. That primarily market rate building has been delayed given market conditions. And the updated phasing proposes the two POA-led phases to be advanced first and the market rate building to be a part of a third phase. And this is really just intended to make sure that residents can receive their housing as quickly as possible and that the momentum is continued. The other updates or modifications that we're requesting have come out of detailed conversations around the thoroughfare permit for this first phase, Stevenson Amon Way. And as we've worked with city staff around that thoroughfare permit, we've incorporated their detailed feedback and improvements on that thoroughfare design. So the first of those thoroughfare updates are a modification of the Woonerf, which is, I think, Dutch. It's a fancy word for a crosswalk, an enhanced wide crosswalk that prioritizes pedestrian access to the Central Park. That's shifted slightly, and the finished condition is being completed with phase 2 to make sure that doesn't get damaged, and it is part of that comprehensive park development. The next modification is a shift in the pedestrian crossings and a reduction in the crossing length at several points, again, incorporating staff feedback for those changes. And the final modification relates to the location of street trees that have had to shift in relation to those first two changes as additional crosswalks have been added and other things have shifted slightly. So the location of street trees and the location of some of the bicycle facilities has been adjusted accordingly. And much more details in the staff memo that was submitted. So we appreciate the staff's close attention and support that's indicated in the memo and welcome any questions from the board.
I have a quick question. I understand the phases, and I understand that some people have already been removed from where they were living and they're someplace else. When they come back, were they supposed to come back in any special order?
That's a great question. So a number of folks are temporarily relocated off-site, and when they come back, that order is based on a lottery that the residents
Okay.
participated in. And there's also priority for folks that have kids in schools, have medical conditions. So there's a priority wait list, and then there's otherwise it's the lottery.
Okay, thank you. Is there, at this, does anybody else want to say something right now, or should I, Kendra or Tim, anybody else want to say anything right now? Because I want to make sure if there's somebody from the public here, we let them speak. But I want to give you folks a chance to fill us in on any changes right now.
No, I think John did a wonderful summary and
Okay.
also noting that the memo covers everything in more detail.
Beautiful, thank you, Kendra. Okay, so Kit, could we see if there are people from the public that would like to ask us any questions, if there's anybody out there this evening? And then we'll open it up to the board.
Chair Fontana, this is Kit. I don't see anyone with their hand raised. If you would like to speak, raise your hand. I'm not seeing anyone.
No, okay, all right. So let's just open it up to the board. We also, I want to mention that we do have in our packet, seeing that Kendra was speaking and Tim's here as well. We have their memorandum also with our stuff. So anybody on the board have any questions they want to ask or something they want the people here to be more complete with? Yes, Ann Brockelman, please.
Yes, just a bit more specificity. When you say slightly, shifted slightly, you know, and the scale of a project like this, is it 10 feet or is it 10 inches? Because that's what we're here to determine, right? If it's de minimis or not. And my drawings, when I open your memo, it's populating very slowly because there's so many layers. If you want to just, you can speak off the top of your head as well, your slideshow.
Hi,
Yeah, like-
Ian, this is Tim signing with Icon Architecture. Yeah, we shifted it, I would say, within 5 or so feet from where it was originally. We went through a bunch of back and forths with the city of Somerville staff to address all their comments, and the Wooner, which is again, as John described it, the enlarged crosswalk pedestrian crossing had to shift a little bit here and there, but it didn't shift significantly, if you will.
Right. So by significantly, you mean not more than 5 feet?
I would say about that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay. That's fine. And then number 3, trees and plantings, trees at regular spacing, 35 to 45 feet apart. What do you mean? You had to change from 35 to 45, or it's like within that range?
It was within that range, and we had like I said, many conversations with the city staff, piece off specifically about the tree locations, in conjunction with crosswalks and other elements that are part of the roadway utilities. Exactly. So we were trying to coordinate all that. And in the memo, that the staff memo, it fully outlines the number of caliper of trees that were on site that were removed versus what are being put back in the new development. So we're way above, if you will, the original amount of trees based on a caliper size than what was there originally.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Anybody else have questions?
Madam
No?
Chair.
Yes, I'm sorry, Brian Cook, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's really a question for Steve, I think, or another staff person. The regulations for substantial versus insubstantial, Steve, mostly apply to the unit size and number. And so the configuration of the buildings is largely what determines that. Am I understanding that correctly?
That's right. Change in building height or massing, unit count, or change in type of like housing tenure or building type are the primary categories of changes that would be deemed substantial.
Okay, and if I may follow up, Madam Chair. So changes in landscape design, mobility, access, those sorts of things aren't really covered. I'm just confused about how much the regulatory requirements for a 40B adjustments to a 40B permit take into account those kinds of changes.
Right. I think those would be generally considered insubstantial. I mean, I think it'd be at the board's discretion to decide if in some they amounted to something substantial or worthy of a public hearing, but generally those are considered insubstantial.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. Thanks, Steve. Anybody else? No? Well, I think the report, I think you guys were really staying on, if I could say it, the staff, by the way, I didn't, I was remiss in that when I said who the board was going to be here tonight, that I didn't mention the staff personnel. They're on this stuff. They help us so much with these reports. And it's Kit Luster, Steve Carey, Madison Anthony, Lexi Payne, Sarah White. We have a new gentleman with us tonight, Alvaro. He started this week. So I want to say thank you to you guys, because we know you work with, the Johns, the Kendras, and everybody else, and you keep the reports coming and give us the proper information so we can make fair, intelligent, and right decisions and go make sure everything's beautiful. I travel this road every day, twice a day, going back and forth to work, and I'm watching how it's progressing and growing. And it's really fascinating. So I think everybody's on the same page here tonight. I'm gonna ask Cecia, we have our Cecia to vote. And Brian, you're gonna do the next case, please. And if no one has any other comments, are you folks ready to cast your vote? Substantial or insubstantial, right? Steve? Is that correct, what we're
That's correct.
voting on right
Yep.
now?
Yep,
Okay,
defined it in substantial or insubstantial.
insubstantial.
And then also add to the motion to modify findings, and conditions of approval, and one waiver from the original approval, just as written in the staff memo.
And Fullerton? Did you get that?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so without further ado, we're gonna close the public portion and mark that there no comments. There was nobody here tonight. That's a good thing, I think sometimes. Everybody's been watching and they're happy with what's going on there. So acting clerk, would you please make a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I make a motion to that case 40B 2020-001-R3 Clarendon Hill has insubstantial changes, and to approve that they are insubstantial based on the changes to the findings and conditions and waivers in the July 10th, 2025 Zoning Board of Appeals staff memo.
Thank you. May I have a second on the motion?
Second.
And Brockelman, second the motion as we go along. I have Cecia Daglian.
Yay.
Yay. Zach Zaremba
Yay.
and Brockelman
Yes.
and Fullerton
Yes.
and Susan Fontano, yes. Let the record show that all 5 voting members voted in the affirmative, that it is unsubstantial and to go forward. Thank you. See you next time around.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Steve. Okay. Okay. Now, the next one, we have Steve for this as well. And it's what do we have? 56 Webster Ave. Miss Fullerton?
Yes, Madam Chair. 56 Webster Ave was previously opened and continued from May 4th.
Thank you.
May 14th, 2025.
Thank you.
Would you like me to describe the case again, or just move forward?
No, that's okay. I was just not paying attention here. I just wanted to put you to work. Yeah, so the next case up is 56 Webster Ave. And we have our staff report for July the 9th, and that was Steve Carey as well. Thank you, Steve. So who's here from Webster Ave? Jennifer? Just Jennifer? Little old Jennifer's here tonight?
Could just be me.
All right.
I see
That
Kathy
sounds
here as
fine.
well. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right.
Hopefully that's good news for you.
All right, speak to us, please.
So we received the updated staff report prepared by Steve and with Kathy, and Kathy and I and Steve have connected. And I believe that all parties are in agreement on the staff recommendation as updated, which would extend the special permit as requested to recognize the 2 years coming from the State Permit Extension Act, plus the exercise now of the first extension, and then a further amendment as set forth in the recommendation, providing for the possibility of 2 additional 1-year extensions upon the conditions set forth in the recommendation. And unless Kathy has a surprise for me, we have no disputes.
Okay. Does everybody see your sheets there that lay out? Because it's a little, you got to pay attention a little bit. Here we are. There's our lady of the hour for keep us honest. So, Catherine, did you have any comments you wanted to make to the board?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just very quickly, just to add to what Jennifer said, we did
Mhm.
also, in exchange for agreeing to grant the first extension now, because with all the additions that were there by the permit as written and the extension, it would have been only through July of 2029, and the applicant requested 5 years, so we agreed to that and to modify the conditions to allow for that first extension to be exercised now. In exchange for that, we are asking for reporting requirements, and we discussed them last time. Just reporting. We also asked the applicant, and they did provide an updated timeline for moving the laundry, and the reporting is tied to that, letting us know where they are in that process and how things are going at 6-month intervals beginning. First report would be due the end of March 2026. Is that correct, Jennifer? I think I got that right.
Right, yes.
Other than that, but she's absolutely right. We talked, we looked at these things together, and we're all on the same page this time. So hope that makes it easier
Good.
for you.
Yep. One quick question I have. Who disciplines that these checkpoints happen? Whose responsibility is that? Is it planning? Is it you guys, legal? Who does that? I
Well,
mean, it's
if
all
they're
well
in
and good to say request,
yeah,
the updates and the time, but who is gonna oversee that?
yes, Madam Chair. My understanding is if that would be a violation of a special permit if they don't provide the report when it's due. And I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think it's ISD that would enforce that.
Madam Chair, that's
Mhm.
correct. It would be inspectional services.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, and the way I put it in, Madam Chair, and at least hopefully it says this, it's that it should be an agenda item for the ZBA. So we kind of know that should be there as a report. If it's not there, then we know, and I would start by giving Jen a call.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to
But
hear
yes,
how
that's a very good question.
Yeah. All right, great. Anybody on the board have any comments or questions for either of the ladies? Or Steve, staff?
I do,
Brian
Madam.
Cook, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I guess this is through you to Jennifer. It just occurred to me that 6 months actually isn't very long between reporting points. And because of the long horizon we're talking about, you're comfortable with a 6-month period of reporting back on progress.
Madam Chair, if I may, the answer is yes. Within the framework of, I suppose, reality. And this is something that Kathy and I did discuss, where I specifically said, that my client wants to be sure that the reporting requirements are not a gateway to a penalty if the report is nothing to see here, the economy is still upside down, everywhere we're looking is not a good idea. Kathy obviously can speak for herself, but had indicated that, the requirement is what it is. It is to report where the progress is. We understand the timeline that's ahead of us. And while we have every expectation, sort of in full transparency, that nothing's going to look any different anytime, soon, that the hope certainly is the longer out we get from today, that things are looking better all around for everyone. And that, with a better economy and a better sort of just new clean slate, some point in time. Hopefully everybody's coming out of this a winner. But that we did sort of have that question as well, understanding that at the very least for the first several reports starting in March of just next year, that we have no expectation that we're going to be coming forward with excellent life-changing news off the bat.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Brian?
Mhm.
I think it's also good to have these updates intervals. It seems like close together, but sometimes if we make them too far out, there are things that do fall through the cracks because of life, because of what's going on. So I think that's still a good thing to have in place and keep everybody, on their toes. Anybody else, any comments? And Zach, and no, good. So could we then have the clerk make a
Madam Chair,
motion?
I did have my hand up. I
Sorry.
guess you couldn't
Oh, I'm
see.
sorry, I didn't see it.
No
I'm
worries,
sorry.
no worries. Just wanted to make a quick comment. I would hope that the report would be a little more specific than nothing's changed, but that we looked in these areas at these properties, what a summary of activities that they've been doing. I agree that we can't expect the world to change and penalize them if it doesn't, but I would expect it to be somewhat substantive. But
Great, thank you.
other than that, it is what it is, as Jen
Okay.
said. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to have it on the record. All right, so that's Webster. So, Ann Fullerton, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. I make a motion to approve the extension of the special permit timeline and the modifications to the conditions that are noted in the Somerville Zoning Board of Appeals staff memo dated July 9th, 2025, including a timeline that has been submitted with those conditions.
Great.
Madam
you.
Chair, sorry, if I may, if we
Yes,
could,
please.
I would recommend just also including in the motion that the board also make the findings that are recommended in the staff memo. Those findings just relate to the tolling dates, just so we have that on the record.
Ann,
We should include the findings noted in the staff memo as well.
thank you. May we have a second?
Second.
Ann Brockelman, all in favor as we go around. We're going with Brian on this case. Brian Cook,
Yes, aye.
Zach Zaremba,
Yes.
Ann Brockelman,
Yes.
Ann Fullerton,
Yes.
and Susan Fontano, yes. Let the record show that the matter of 56 Webster Avenue, the case was approved 100%. Good luck, everybody. Keep
Thank
up
you
the
very
good-
much.
Thanks
Yeah.
very much.
Thanks for coming out, you guys.
Sure, happy to be
Alright.
here.
Good. Next, we
Right.
have Webster Gilman Street.
Yes, Madam Chair. I'd like
And I
to
believe,
open-
I'm sorry, Ann, did I step on you? That's gonna be a new case.
I'd like to open 103 Gilman Street, case number ZP 25000043. Vivek Demajian seeks relief from SEO 14.1.5.C 11.B to expand an existing non-conforming structure further into a rear setback, which requires a hardship variance.
Thank you, Ann. I'm gonna have Cecia vote on this case. So Gilman Street, who's here? Robert? Therian, is that how we say it?
Chair Fontana, this is Kit. Robert, you should have the ability to unmute and share your screen as needed.
Here we are.
Hello,
Hello, thank you, Madam Chair.
welcome. So speak to us.
Okay, this was a very unusual situation. The owner has a 3-family unit. It was built turn of the century. Had existing egress stairs with rear porches. So he contacted me about repairing the stairs. I went down there and found them, the stairs, not only the stairs, but the porches themselves were in very unsafe condition. So I recommended to the owner that we replace the porches and the stairs simultaneously because of the conditions they were in. So subsequently he agreed, and I went to prepare drawings for the reconstruction of the porches and the stairs, only to discover that to make the reconstructed stairs code compliant with the current codes, we had to make the width of the porch 8 inches closer to the rear property setback. I approached the building commissioner because of the public safety concern. If we could get a waiver on any zoning, and he said no, he wanted to stick with the policies at hand. And subsequently, we had to get a building property survey done and show the extension on the site plan for the additional 8 inches in width that would be needed to meet the code requirement. So the situation here is, I don't know what options the board really has because it's a public safety issue. And they are in very bad repair. And this is, I discovered this last January. So we've been trying to get this done as soon as possible. The owner's anxious to get it done. I don't have any other design alternatives to offer the owner with the configuration of the building and the situations there. So it is indeed a hardship and public safety concern. So we're asking for relief so that we can encroach closer to the rear property line, approximately no more than 8 inches. It's actually less than that, but on the conservative side, we're asking for 8 inches. So I don't know what else I can offer the owner or the board as any alternative here. So unfortunately, if we can't get relief from the board here, I don't know how to handle the public safety concern in the building. And that does put the tenants at risk. So
Okay. So you've worked with Kit on this. And first off, I want to see, is there anybody in the public that wanted to speak? Kit, are there any neighbors or anything coming out for this?
Madam Chair, this is Kit. I do not see anyone with their hand raised. If you'd like to speak, just raise your hand and you'll be given 2 minutes. I do not see anyone.
Okay, we'll go forward. Open it up to the board. Does the board have some questions? Yes, Ann Fullerton.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Thurian, so in your report, it actually says 14 inches of additional width. So I just wanted to understand where the 8 inches comes from, why those two numbers are being talked about differently.
I'm sorry, confused with your question. I'm happy to answer it. I'm just not sure what we're discussing here.
Yeah, so you wrote a report about, for this submission.
Yes,
And in point number 7 of the report, it talks about requiring an additional 14 inches of additional width, not 8.
let me check my records here. I'm sure what I submitted in the report is accurate. If I can remember, so.
And Kip, if you can lend any light to this, that please chime in.
Hang on a second here.
Kit,
Chair Fontana, this is Kit. I am just pulling up the plans for myself so I can give you accurate information.
I see in my drawings, at different levels, there, the level 1 will require 5.5 inches, extension and width. Level 2 shows 4 inches extension, and level 3, 5.5. If you look at the architectural drawings that were prepared, we had a code restriction or conflict with the width of the stair opening that was existing and the dimension that we needed at the bottom of the landing in order to make the stairs work and compliant. We had to use the existing stairs at the bottom at the lowest level. And so now all stairs are being proposed are fully compliant. So if you look at my drawing A1, that information is shown it's shown on the upper left side of the sheet.
I see it.
Can I-
So
Go ahead.
please,
I'd
Member
like to,
Wade, please.
maybe it's the same question, but ask a different way in terms of math. I wonder if there are two numbers. One is how much bigger than existing you need versus the number that is what's the relief, which is a number beyond what the setback allows. And usually in terms of the ZBA, we'd like to understand the relief needed,
right,
right? So you have to subtract. I couldn't understand the plot plan either, because usually you should, or even the staff report usually tells us that the setback is X inches and this is going to encroach by X inches, therefore the relief is X inches. It's just a matter of getting our documentation correct, if we were to approve this.
Okay. Let me see if I have more filing.
And if staff understands that, because I'm looking at the plot plan, right? So you're in red, you're showing, is that 3 feet from the property line? 2.93, 3.1?
Yes, I would go by the plot plan.
So that's proposed, and what is the setback required? Staff or anyone?
This is Kit.
The current
The setback required is 20 feet,
You're right.
which is
So
this property is an existing nonconformity.
Oh, I see. Okay. Sorry, we
Yeah.
missed that. 20 feet. So even from the back of the building, to the property line is that 6.2 plus 3.1? 6, 7, 8, 9. So you're asking for a further exacerbating the non-compliance, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's existing non-conforming. And
Okay.
we're seeking relief up to 8 inches further encroaching on the non-conformity.
Further, yeah, got it.
I believe we can do it in 6, but I just knowing what happens in the field.
And then can I ask another question? Once you're beyond 3 feet from the property line, because I see 2.9, is fire rating different, kicks in, or your porch is already, the lumber is already fire treated?
I believe that the if it were an interior egress, enclosed egress, that requirement would be needed.
Mm-hmm.
So if necessary, I don't know how, I mean, I can include in the construction documents
Mm-hmm.
to have a protective fire rated material applied to the decking. And that certainly would be something the owner and I would be willing to do. But anyway, I know I didn't do that in the permit drawings, but
Yeah, I don't think I'd necessarily ask for more, but I would ask you to check, and this is not zoning, this is state building code.
yes,
You put something
I will
beyond 3
verify
feet from
that.
the property line, whatever
Right.
you need to do to comply.
I will, certainly.
Thank you. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes,
On page 2 of our staff report, it says here the setback must be at least 20 feet from the rear property line.
right.
At the end of the day, if this project goes forward, what you want to do, how far back is the rear setback going to be?
I
Because I'm trying to read the report. Maybe Kit, you can help me. Currently, it's saying there is a 3 2/10 foot rear setback.
yes,
That's it, 3 feet,
Yes.
right?
That's what
Yes.
yeah.
And right, that's what you're talking about, correct?
right.
And
It's very
the
close to
proposed
the property
porch is
line
for-
now, yes. Yeah,
And then if the proposed porches go in, it's gonna be 3 feet to, or to 2 feet 9 instead of 20?
honestly, Madam Chair, the surveyor didn't give us a reliable or a precise location when we got the copy of his certified plot plan. But we're in that 3 foot, 2 foot 10 distance. So I'm relying on what the surveyor provided me, and we acted quickly to get something done. But I can tell you what from our own field measurements, we're looking in my drawings of asking for 5.5 inches that I would need to increase the existing deck width. So to give you a precise dimension, the survey information we have from let me see if I have any more from the actual surveyor.
Madam Chair, this is Kit.
Thank you, Kit.
It looks like I'm looking at the plot plan right now that was sent to you, the board. And it looks like from what I see, the rear setback the proposed rear setback will range from 3.1 to 2.9 feet.
Right.
Personally, I'm not sure if that is because the building is on a slight angle, but that's what I'm understanding
I think
from the
that's
plot plan.
reliable. Yeah, I agree with that.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I actually disagree. It's only by micro inches, but on the surveyor's plot plan, it says 6.2 feet. And on the actual drawing set, the framing plan is calling for 6 feet 3 inches. So it's sort of in there, but I think, you know, we should be careful to say that it's going to be exactly what is on the plot plan, because I don't think it'll end up being exactly that.
Yeah.
Well, it could be, when we did our field survey, we weren't anticipating a zoning issue at the time. So we didn't precisely locate the building on the lot at that time. We were just focusing on the rear decks. So it is the surveyor's plot plan that we have to rely on and conform with. So the original permit drawings that were prepared, okay, were prior to us being aware that we would have to go to zoning. We assumed that we could have delivered the new work within what was existing previously. So the architectural drawings were prepared prior to the survey. And it was once we realized that we couldn't get a waiver on public safety on the zoning, that we engaged the surveyor. So his survey information is the reliable source on this project. I
Brian
don't
Cook,
trust that.
excuse me, sir. Brian Cook.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Although there's been a lot of confusion, I think what's clear is that the request for relief is meant to incorporate what's needed, even if the maximum provided in relief is not what they actually end up needing. So that's the point of the 8-inch further encroachment into the setback, is to give them a margin of error for completing the renovation of the stairs and decks, so that they don't violate the setback any further than the building already does, because it's a non-conforming rear setback for the existing structure. So rather than try to specify in the motion the exact dimensions that we have, if we give them a margin of error, which I believe is what the staff memo is proposing, even though the words are not there, then I think that obviates any need for the applicant to come back and say, whoops, we need a new or amended hardship variance because we've discovered that the measurements are off by whatever, a couple of inches.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Ian
right,
Fullerton.
Mr. Cook. You're absolutely correct. That's what we're
Ian
trying.
Fullerton.
Yeah, I think we all agree that, you know, this is a case of relief needed. My concern is that because we're having a hard time actually determining something to attach the relief to, like nothing in the documentation we have so far identified is the thing we want to attach the relief to. My worry is that whoever is building could say, well, you know, because you have an open door, how about we make it a little bigger and you can have a patio set out here? And because we're not attaching the relief specifically for the egress code. So
Not on my watch. I can. Yeah.
I appreciate that, Mr. Theron, but we see we're going to see another case later tonight that has that kind of issue. So it happens all the time.
Well, this project requires construction control anyway.
Uh,
At the,
Yeah, you know what, Mr. Therium, could you be quiet for a couple of minutes while the board speaks? And
I'm
if they have a
sorry,
question for you, they're gonna ask you, okay?
I
Continue,
apologize.
Ms. Fullerton.
So my suggestion is the thing that I feel most comfortable attaching the relief to is actually Mr. Therian's drawings. On his framing plan, it has the control set of maximum width he thinks that the porches need to be, which is 6'3". And you know, whatever that encroachment is what it is. It's just I feel most comfortable saying that if the porches conform to his construction framing plans as presented is reasonable.
Okay.
Good. So what do you suggest? We write it the way it's gonna be? What we think of approving if we go that far?
Yeah, we make it a condition that
Right.
the relief is based on the construction framing plans of, I have to figure out which date it is, but as submitted, based on a certain date.
It was February 4th. Oh, February 21, 25.
Kit,
Madam Chair, just give me 1 second while I pull those up.
yeah,
Yes, the
gonna-
date on the plan submitted is February 21st, 2025.
beautiful. And how do we go forward now from this here? Well, I think, I mean, this here is it's a hardship variance, and we all know how severe those are. But this is non-conforming as it is, and it is their egress. So we've got to figure a way to see how we can make this work and as least painful as possible to the setback, right? Good, okay. So, as we're thinking of that, Ann's had hers in. Anybody else have a comment or question for Mr. Therian? No? No suggestions how to help and get this done?
I thought Ann Fullerton's approach was an appropriate one that would be acceptable and workable. It's a little more restricted than I had requested, because I had wanted to have a tolerance of up to 8 inches instead of the 5.5 that's exactly shown there. So that would give us a little more confidence that it won't go any more than that, you know. And I will do everything I can to assure that the dimensions that I provided are achieved. Part of the question here is not so much achieving the construction dimension as it is the unknown, as the building may not be perpendicular to the property line, and that's how I feel the 8 inches would certainly give us that confidence.
Kit, what do you think of this here conversation that's going on? This is your case.
Madam Chair, I do agree with Ann Fullerton. And I personally don't think that my staff memo, I don't think I meant to convey that there should be any tolerance or wiggle room, because I don't believe that is something that the ZBA necessarily should grant. So sorry for any confusion there. But I do think that my staff report is mostly based off of the architectural drawings.
Right. Okay. So is everybody, what do we think about this? Is this we've got to get this house safe. And if inspectional services is saying, you know, this is their second egress, they have to have it. How can we make this happen? I mean, it's non-conforming already, like I said, and I don't want to, you know, give everything away because we have to have certain restrictions and we have to justify the approval with the conditions and the criteria that's required on a variance. So let's get going and talking and see what we can do to get this done. Yes, Ann Fullerton, then Brian, then Cecia. Ann Fullerton.
Madam Chair, Brian and Cecia can go ahead of me. I was just going to take a shot at the 3 conditions when we're ready.
Cecia, do you have something to say now? I thought I saw your hand going up.
Yeah, I agree with tying in relief to the floor plans because that represents the minimal or the maximum size we should grant, which is sort of the minimal egress width required. It regardless of how much encroachment is made into the setback, which appears to be fairly minimal. And that way it'll be clear with ISD what plans they should be looking at to when they review the building permit.
And that's what, the 8 inches?
Well, I just wouldn't phrase it that way at all. I would just say, is this, it's like 6 foot, whatever it is, 6'3". That's what you get off each building, whatever it turns out to be.
Ann Fullerton, you get what she's saying on that? For the presenter, good, thank you. Brian Cook, you had your hand up?
I don't even have a vote on this, but I agree with exactly. Cecia said exactly what I was going to say.
Okay, great.
Tied to the dimensions in the drawings, you don't have to state what the actual additional encroachment is. It's going to be what it is, and then clarify that the conditions are met.
Okay. Ann Brockelman, another, yes, I'm sorry, Brian, go ahead.
I meant the findings for the 3 criteria are met.
Yes, thank you. Ann Brockelman, are you done saying what you had to say? Yep, good. Zach, did you want to add anything or is everything okay? Fine. Okay. All right. So can I ask Ian to let's get together on this? Everybody help out while we make the check the wording and the criteria.
Sure, Madam Chair, Kit had her hand up.
I'm sorry, Kit, go right ahead, please.
Madam Chair is just also going to suggest if you felt it necessary, you are able to continue this application so that the plot plan can be updated, just so you can make sure that the survey and the architectural drawings are as accurate as possible. So then you don't need the 8 inches or, everything will be set. But
all right. Is the board, just a moment, Mr. Tyrion, is the board comfortable with having everything right in front of you where it's a hardship variance? And if there's no rush on the date for the legalities, we can wait till August. Is that okay with everybody? Ann Fullerton and Brockelman, yep.
I would rather not wait.
You'd rather vote tonight?
So we're talking inches, so I think it's okay.
And life
Okay.
safety.
Yes.
What, Ann?
And life safety.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. That's right. All right, so let's, Kit, thank you for the offer. And thank you so much. So let's get together here on our motion and the criteria.
So Madam Chair, I propose for the 3 hardship criteria, the criteria number 1, the special circumstances attached to soil condition, shape, topography, or unusual character. This is an existing non-conforming structure. It already violates the setback. The existing porches violate the setback. And the issue at hand is conforming to current life safety building code. For for criteria 2, literal enforcement of the provision would create a hardship. Obviously, violating life safety is a hardship. And number 3, desirable relief could be granted without causing substantial detriment to the public good. This is a change that is going to be minor in rebuilding the existing condition or rebuilding an egress condition, and does
Great.
not affect the public.
Yeah, right. Good. Everybody in agreement with those? Anybody want to add anything? No? Okay. I think those are perfect. And as you were reading, it falls right in line also with these, the consideration and findings of the staff report, which is, then we're on target on that. We're on the same page. So, I think I did not close the public portion of this. The public portion on 103 Gilman Street, we're sure. There's nobody here from the neighborhood. Kit?
I do not see anyone with their hand raised.
Okay, great. Okay. So we'll close that portion and we'll open up to the board. No, open it up to the clerk to make a motion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I make a motion to approve the hardship variance for 103 Gilman Street, case number ZP 25-000043, based on the previously discussed findings and special circumstances, and with the consideration and special condition that the hardship permits being granted associated with the architectural drawings dated 2/21/25 prepared by Robert Theron Architect, specifically Plan A-1, where the porch depth is noted.
Right. Great. And if you said this or not, adopting the criteria that we've discussed in detail on the report. Thank you. May I please have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ann Brockelman. All in favor for 103 Gilman Street, hardship variance approval. Zach Zaremba,
Aye.
Ann Brockelman,
Aye.
Cece Daglian,
Aye.
Ann Fullerton,
Aye.
and Susan Fontano, aye. Let the record show that all voting members, it was 100% approval. Good luck, Mr. Therian.
I thank
Now
you.
you've given us
Looking
your
forward-
word. We're gonna hold you to it.
I know.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
your
You're a pleasure
man.
to
You'll
work with.
see. All right. Thank you very much. You've been
All right. Good luck and good
most
night.
generous with us. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
So next is Melvin Street.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Next,
Ann.
the next case is 8-8A Melvin Street case. Under this address, we have 3 hardship variances to consider. I'm going to read them in order. Case number ZP 25-000047. Sandithal Kumar seeks relief of SEO section 3.1.13 2.c regarding total dormer width standards, which requires a hardship variance. The second case is ZP 25-000048. Sandil Kumar seeks relief from SCO section 3.1.13.L.I.A regarding dormer face width standards, which requires a hardship variance. And the third case is ZP 25-000049. Sandil Kumar seeks relief from SEO section 3.1.13.L.1.C regarding dormer separation standards, which requires a hardship variance.
Thank you very much. That was a mouthful for you. So whose case is this tonight? Is this Madison's or?
Chair Fontano, this is Madison speaking. Yes, it's mine.
Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Where are you? I don't see you.
Oh,
There,
sorry.
that's all
There I
right.
am.
There you are. Thank you. So who's here tonight to speak about their case? Mr. Kumar?
Yes,
There
I'm
you are. I
here.
see you now. Thank you. So, tell us what you're doing or what you did.
Well, madam, we bought this property back in 2019 with the hope plan to quickly convert from a two-family to three-family, convert it to condos and put it out on the market and sell it. But the project has gone on forever. And the third floor, we had to, the only way the city would allow us to move forward is to make it an affordable unit, which we did. So all that is done. So in the third floor, in the meantime, in this long process, we have had contractors, came and went to COVID and everything. And, I had let somebody else handle the construction oversight for some time. And in that time frame, what happened was from the kitchen in the third floor, which was supposed to be on one side, it was determined on the fly that the contractor would put it on the other side because it had a longer area to work with. And so they had done it, and we didn't know about it I'm not a builder, I'm not a developer, I'm just an investor. So I didn't know about it. It went on, and then there were several inspections along the way. But at the end, when we were trying to get certificate of occupancy, suddenly zoning board came up and said, "Oh, well, you're not compliant. This dormer is not compliant. So we cannot give you a CO." And after much conversation, the zoning board kindly agreed to allow us to sell unit one, but not the other two, and asked us to apply for hardship variance. And that's what we have done, and that's why we are here.
And how did this affect the unit 2?
Unit 2 is not affected at all. It is ready to go, but we have not been able to sell it also because we don't have a CO, and we have been waiting for past now since Unit 1 was the CO was obtained in October, I think, last year, and we sold it in November, December. But now we have not obtained CO for Unit 2 either. Unit 2 has no problems, no dormer issues, nothing. But that has not been approved either. So we are on a holding pattern on that one.
And who was overseeing? You said somebody else started overseeing who was it, a different contractor?
Yeah, there was a second contractor, and he's also gone now because from his point of view, it is all done. He has taken his money because it was close to being finished, and it's been a heartache and pain for me for all these years holding this property, paying.
Well, you know what? It's a heartache and painful for us too,
Yes,
because we're
I'm
tired
sorry.
of people coming up to the board with no respect. They're doing their thing because they want to build condos or apartments and everything else. And you're hiring people from wherever or whatever. And these contractors, they know what they're doing. And so we're getting tired of hearing that they're gone and they have your money, because it's not fair to other people in the city who play by the rules. This is a shame that this is all built and it's wrong.
my most sincere apologies, madam. This is not what the outcome I expected. I didn't know about this, and the contractor is nowhere to be found. I cannot get a hold of him. Also, the COVID was a very difficult time. Get people to work, people to do anything. To move things was a super difficult, challenging environment as we all experienced.
Where do you live? What town do you live in?
I live in Nashua, New Hampshire. I used to live in Acton, Massachusetts, but I
Mhm.
moved to Nashua, New Hampshire.
And where are these contractors from?
Contractors are some of them are from Chelsea and Everett. That's where they came from.
Mhm. And did you not know you had to apply for permits? Or the contractors had to get permits from you for approval of the work?
Yes, definitely. We obtained all sorts of permits, ma'am. Everything, whatever the city advised us to, we applied for
Mhm.
permits. This
Yeah.
one change from one side to the other was
Yeah.
done without my knowledge, so and it's so unfortunate
Could have a little
this
cup.
got done. But from the outside, other than the fact that both dormers are close to each other, there is no other nothing you can see from the outside from the variance.
No, but it's also, you have to understand being in a butter, what it's like to having that hangover, your abutters properties. I live with it here too. I'm in the city and the houses are nice and tight. And when somebody adds on something, it's an invasion in your space. It's an invasion in your windows. It's a lot of different things. So all of these come to play. And we're listening to what you have to say, and we're gonna talk about this, all of us, and see what we can do. But I just really felt I had to say that because it's just not fair. It's just not right. And I'm tired of these contractors coming in and taking good homeowners in Somerville's money and taking off and doing the wrong thing. And they pretend they're doing you a favor, or you pretend that you don't know either, that they went from one side to the other to make the kitchen bigger. So uh, let's see, I'm gonna have Brian, you're gonna vote on this case tonight. And Cece, you still participate. I like the participation of everybody here because we're all different minds and different positions. So is there anybody from the public here on the matter of 8 and 8A Melvin Street?
We have our architect, Robert Pacione, on the call. He can speak.
Beautiful. They can chat in there. Thank you. Hello, Robert.
Hi, how's it going? Yeah, I'm just
Good.
here. I was hired to kind of help these guys out with putting together documentation and everything. So I'm happy to answer
Yeah.
any questions.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you for joining us.
Yep.
So who's on the staff? Who's this? Madison's case? Yes,
Yep.
right? Yeah, Madison. Thank you, and I'm sorry. And Kit, can you see if there's anybody from the public that wants to speak on this? Any questions at all, pro or con? We welcome them all.
I do not see anyone with their hand raised. Once
Okay.
again, if you want to speak on this, just raise your hand.
Okay. And we'll leave this open for, a few minutes while we ask some of our own questions and clarify things. Okay, so anybody on the board just have comments to make or some help? Yes, is Zach, did you have your hand up?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I have a question. Is anybody living in these condos yet?
On first floor, yes, that the unit has been sold. Somebody's living there. But second floor and third floor are empty, waiting for a certificate of occupancy.
All right, and just to make sure I'm following this correctly, you feel that the contractor took liberties as to go beyond what was approved because they thought that that was a better approach to the construction and that you didn't notice this? Or you
Correct.
did? Well, because I'm looking here and like the minimum dormer separation, for example, it says 8 feet and it's as built about 2 feet. I mean, I feel like visually you'll be able to tell if something's off by 6 feet. So, I mean, I kind of understand where the chair is coming from a little bit. And then it's a little bit hard to just see that you have somebody working on this for months and months and months, and you as the owner are not really checking in to make sure it's conforming because that's your responsibility. And I used to do the same thing where I would renovate houses and I was on top of them all the time because they screwed up all the time. So I'm not saying you're not telling the truth, but it's hard if you've done this before to not see this sort of variation from the plans.
Zach, with all due respect to you, I'm a software engineer by training. I'm not a builder, developer. And I got into real estate, thought I will try my hand at, buying properties, renovating them, flipping. So it was a learning process for me at that time. And the COVID situation did not make it easy for me to go and oversee these things. And, it's been a very painful lesson for me. And I'm telling you the truth, honestly. It's been a very painful lesson for me to be able to have to hold this property for this long without being able to get any relief, without being able to sell and move on. And this is not what I was expecting when I tried to get into this business.
All set,
Thank you.
Zach?
Yes,
Thank you,
thank you.
Zach. And now, Mr. Kumar, and for the rest of the people listening and also the staff here, the reason I started this, talking with you tonight about this is that a lot of people are listening tonight. They find this very interesting. They might be thinking of doing projects in their own home or building something, or there's contractors and what have you. And I just want people to understand the severity of how important it is to surround yourself with people who are professionals. And also, you have to do your own due diligence. You have to inspect what you expect. So I understand you've been compromised, and I'm not saying no. I just really wanted people who listen and follow the zoning, they follow the planning boards, they like to listen, and they find it very educational. It's like some will learn from your problem. You see what I'm saying? Like you're saying, who knew? And the COVID did everybody in. I'm a businesswoman, I have businesses, and it did me in. So, we all pay attention, and we did the best we could do. That was Zach. Anybody else have comments they want to ask Mr. Kumar? Yes, Brian Cook, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm
Brian?
actually following up on Zach's point and question. So if I'm understanding the sequencing correctly, there was a decision to move the kitchen because of headroom necessity. So shifted to the other side, whatever exactly that meant, which meant either putting in dormers or redesigning dormers, it doesn't matter. That's where we have the problem. Whoever did the drawings on the dormers failed to attend to the zoning requirements for the dormers. And it would be good to know whether that was an architect who did that or whether it was a contractor who did it, because that's the point at which we have the problem. The construction is completed with that dormer design, and it's only then that we discover that they're not compliant with the zoning ordinance. But that means that somebody with a professional certifications making drawings and not paying attention to what the zoning requirements are for that particular part of the construction. And that's mystifying to me. It's one thing for an amateur developer to miss that, but for a professional not to attend to this, that's the more worrisome thing to me. Do we have any information from either through you, Madam Chair, to Mr. Kumar, who did the drawings, original drawings for the dormers, or who made the changes to the drawings to the dormers that resulted in them getting built not in compliance with the zoning ordinance.
Well, I think we have an architect here who's helping out a little bit tonight. I don't think he's really been on board since the beginning, but he might have some information. Yeah, Miss Anthony might have some for us. Do either of you folks have an answer for Mr. Cook's question?
Yeah, so they hired to start the project and everything got approved, a designer, which wasn't an architect. And that's where the original drawings came from. I came on the project actually when the contractor basically said, hey, we're going to build this dormer over here. So what it was he said, we need framing plans. So I basically said, okay, well, here's a structural engineer. He'll do the framing plans. And basically I'm not sure if the contractor submitted those to the city, but that's basically where he received the framing plans to build the dorm. So there were no real architectural plans necessarily for that. They were just basically some structural drawings.
Great. Miss Anthony?
So, I would have to confirm, but my understanding with ISD, because they're the ones who review everything, but my understanding is that they were not submitted to the city, just the original set of plans. And then this was discovered, the zoning compliance issues with dormer were discovered during a site visit.
Yeah, so that's our suspicion too, that he never submitted them.
All right.
All right, Brian. Ann Fullerton, your hand was up, please. Ann, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I think Ann Brockelman had hers up earlier, though. I'll wait.
Okay, sure. Just reading the narrative of the new architect, Robert, first of all, your plan section before and after is very helpful. Very clear report, thank you. I wish they were the same scale. I think this elevations are a little smaller. I can't really draw lines from plan to section.
Yeah, that was a Microsoft Word.
Slightly,
That's a little
yeah.
bit scale.
Okay, but it says here that upon construction, it was noted that there wasn't enough headroom, and then it was widened. So I just wanted to add that there is one narrative here that says that then it was widened. But I don't know about permit drawings or anything like that.
Yeah, so the original permit drawings had it on the opposite side of where the dormer is, and there's no headroom over there. So that's why the contractor switched it. And when he switched it, he enlarged the dormer. And that's when the zoning variance obviously was that's when the zoning was violated, when he made the dormer wider.
Sorry, but the approved permit drawings have it in the same location. It's just bigger. Right, page 2 of your narrative versus page 3.
Yeah, so the original drawings had a dormer there. It was a smaller dormer. And then
yeah,
what you're seeing is the as-built drawings. We went back and measured to see what was built.
Yes, I'm going back and forth between permit and as-built between the 2 pages, which is very helpful. Okay, I mean, I have some thoughts, but maybe let's everyone have a chance to say
Okay.
what they want first.
All right, we'll let Ann Fullerton and then we'll come back to you, Ann, if you'd like. Ann Fullerton?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just fundamentally have a problem with the argument that the owner didn't know what was going on. The project, it's not like day 1, it was demoed, and day 12, it was sided and framed and the windows were in. It's actually a many months long project. There is rough plumbing, rough electric. So there was a point at which they decided the headroom wouldn't work. They wanted to move the kitchen. They're like, oh, we can have a bigger kitchen if we move it to the other side. Oh, we'll just make the dormer bigger. I understand that Mr. Picone may not have been aware of the detriment when helping them, but I think that Mr. Kumar saying somebody else was helping out and he didn't understand what was happening is just crazy to me, because you have to plan for plumbing runs so early on. So to be frank, I'm having a hard time swallowing this one. Yes, there is a financial problem. That's probably the only hardship part of the conditions that I can find cause for. The rest of the issues, I can't find any cause to support these hardship variances.
Okay, thank you. Cecia or Ian Brockelman, you have something you want to, and yes, go Ian
Sure.
Brockelman.
I guess my question to the new architect, you're here to, fix this, is have you explored what's the minimum change that will be needed to bring this any closer into compliance?
I essentially
I
go
don't think you need
back.
to rip the whole thing off. I've kind of made some calcs myself, but you can, so have you looked?
Yeah, essentially we would go back to the original dormer design. So, push it over the I don't know, I think it's 4 feet or so. Back to that 11'7" to get back to what was originally approved and did meet zone. So it would, involve ripping the kitchen or a portion of the kitchen out, obviously new reframing and whatnot. So we did discuss obviously what would be required to fix it.
I don't know if you have to do that much, actually. I mean, the original drawings don't push the envelope on zoning. It could be a bigger dormer, right? Again, total cumulative staff report says 2110. Right now you have 6.8 plus 9. That's the original plan, so you're under. So the original drawing didn't really try to push that.
Yeah, I think the thing that's, if I'm understanding correctly, the thing that's really pushing this to go over that part is the dormer separation. The cumulative
Correct. So the
dormer, yeah,
dormer
we're not.
separation has to be 50% of the new dormer, right? So you have
Yeah.
1/3, 1/3, 1/3, right? So I've already made some quick calcs here. So maybe you could take this back and consider it. So if you keep that right-hand edge of what's built
Yeah.
all the way to the existing dormer, you have, let's say, 2 feet plus 16, 18 feet, right? I'm making 111 2 feet. Do you see that? The gap, 111, I'm going to round that to 2 feet plus 16 feet, that's 18 feet. 18 feet, the relationship is 50% of the massing has to be, the gap has to be 50%, right? So math, that's 6 feet plus 12 feet. 6 feet gap plus 12 feet massing, 6 feet is half of 12 feet, 50% you're complying. You keep the right edge, that's what you need to bring the left-hand dormer, left side, right, of the new built dormer in.
Right.
And now I did a quick blue beam to scale. That line, if you strike a line down, actually lands on the edge of your third window. So maybe you lose that window, or you say, board, can I have 6 inches so that you can keep the third window? That could be a hardship because you are trying to fix it. So I feel like you haven't really thought this through enough on how you can actually fix this. With the least financial burden to the client, right? I mean, it doesn't feel like anyone here is going to approve this as if tonight. So what is the minimum you can do financially for yourself, for the client to make the change? I don't, and how that impacts the fridge. The refrigerator is not right at the edge, so it's further in. So maybe that will clear the roof, right? In plan, you have the fridge there. But I don't think you need to rip up the kitchen, move it to the other side. I mean, I think you can creatively solve this. So that's all I'm saying.
The way, can I insert something here? I'm following exactly what you're saying, Ian. And I'm looking at some pictures that are at a site here. I'm trying to see what real estates that they are. And I was looking at the different pictures. If I'm looking at what I think is the third floor kitchen, it doesn't affect the windows the way they look like they're going. It looks like it's the window over a couch. There's a blue door, a refrigerator, and cabinets, and a bar with the bar stool. There's the window there, and then there's another window. Am I looking at the right thing? Robert, do you know what I'm referring to? Is that the third floor?
I don't believe so.
What's the
That
third floor
doesn't-
kitchen look like?
It doesn't sound familiar. I can bring up some photos if you guys would like.
Yeah, bring up
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
let me,
based on Robert's five-page narrative where he has plan,
Yeah,
elevation together. That's very helpful before and after.
I'm sharing my screen. Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone can see it. Okay, so here, this is the other side. Let me try to bring this around. So this is
oh, I see.
the
This is
the
the third
cabinets. Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
third floor. So these are those three windows.
Yeah,
So, coming in here, obviously we'd have to take all this out. So it would be a full kitchen, removal, but it would be pretty significant rework.
okay,
So,
all right. So, what do we want to do? Do we want to have the client, the applicant, go away tonight, continue this, have the architect work with Mr. Kumar on what they might be able to come up with for a compromise? We looking to have this rectified as much as possible? You can clear your screen now.
okay, sure.
Thank you. Yes, Brian Cook.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I agree with Member Brockelman. We should give them a chance to think this through more. Yes, there's going to be a financial impact. They don't have to rip out the dormers entirely. Make the best effort you can to come as close as you can to compliance with the zoning requirements and then come back to us. That's generally what we've done. We've tried to work with developers and architects and said, it's not working out. You're not going to get the hardship variances approved at this point. But working with us more, it gives us a sense that you're taking this seriously and you're listening to us. And we're trying to be fair to the community as a whole, as well as to you and the other professionals involved. So I would support proposing, well, the applicant has to request a continuance, but I would support that if that's the way we go.
Thank you, Brian. So, Madison, you understand where we're coming from?
Yep.
You have a
Like-
comment?
I think no comment. I guess that's a good way to go forward. Fine with me.
Yeah,
I do
Okay.
know that we have to continue to a date certain for open applications. Is that correct?
yes.
Okay.
Usually we say, so our next meeting is August 6th. I don't know what else is on that agenda. Kit, are you here? Do we go forward and say we go to August 6th, or can they request to go another week out more? Another meeting out?
Yeah, I would suggest not the August 6th because I do know that ISD has to review everything too, and then another memo has to be written, and I don't think that's a realistic turnaround time, being
Yeah.
fully transparent.
Yeah.
Sorry
So
to
what's
interrupt.
the next? Do we
The next
tentatively?
20th.
August 20th.
So can we tentatively go with something like that? Does the Mr. Kumar and Robert is it Paccioni? Is that how you say it?
Passione. Close, yeah.
Paccioni.
Yeah.
Does that seem like it might work for you guys to get your heads together?
Yeah, it's fine with me. Cinto, does that work for you?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes, good, okay. So, you, have to request the continuance, Mr. Kumar. You have to say,
Okay.
we'd like to have a continuance. And,
Yeah, we would like to have a continuance.
beautiful. And, so the
May
board,
I
yes,
interrupt
Addison, yeah, hon.
to let the applicant know that we need any plans submitted a minimum of 2 weeks before the hearing so that ISD can review it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Would you happen to know what that date would be?
Um, be 2 weeks before August 20th. I think that's August 6th.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. August 6th is 2 weeks before the 20th.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, okay. All right. So, I'd like to have, unless, first of all, I want to, close the public portion. Kit, did anybody show up for, 888 Melvin Street?
I do not see anyone with their hand raised.
Okay, so we're gonna close the public portion of that. And, move to the board that we're all on the same page. And we're gonna have Ann Fullerton, our acting clerk tonight, make the motion. Is everybody okay? Yes? And I believe I said, Brian, you working this, you're voting this one? Correct, good, okay. Ms. Fullerton, do your thing.
Madam Clerk, I move to continue the case of 8-8A Melvin Street for 3 different case numbers, ZP 25000047, ZP 25000048, ZP 25000049 to August 20th.
Thank you very much.
Second.
Seconded by Ann. All in favor, please say aye. Brian Cook,
Aye.
Zach Zaremba,
Aye.
Ann Fullerton,
Aye.
Ann Brockelman,
Aye.
and Susan Fontano. Aye. Let the record show all, voting members in the positive to continue till August 20th, 2025. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Kumar. Thank you, Mr. Paccioni.
Thank you.
And, we'll see
Thank
you
you,
on the
ma'am.
20th. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
sounds good.
Okay, thank you, Madison. And if anything comes up, you'll let Kit know, all right? Good, thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Brian Cook, want
may
a
we
break?
have a short break?
I'd love one. Thank you for suggesting it. So can we have Brian makes the motion for a break. All in favor, say aye. Ann Brockelman, Ann Fullerton, Cece Daglian, Brian Cook, Zach Zaremba, and Susan Fontano. I'll say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Back in like 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Hello, staff.
Susan.
Hey, gang. Welcome back. Okay, I'd like to, at 7:55, call the meeting back in order. All the members are here. Ann Brockelman, Ann Fullerton, Zach Zaremba, Cece Daglian, Brian Cook, and Susan Fontano. And I see we have Madison Anthony. Do you have Pearl Street, Madison?
Yep, this one's also mine.
Oh, good, good. This one's quite different. All right. So is Kit still around? Can we start back? Okay. Okay, we're back in action. The next case, Madam Clerk, new case.
Yep. Madam Chair, I'd like to open 181 Pearl Street. Case number ZP 25-000057, 181 Pearl Street LLC seeks relief from SCO section 10.3.6.A.I regarding landscape buffer requirements, which requires a hardship variance.
Thank you very much. And who's here? Pablo, welcome.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Board. Madison, if you could also promote Paul Miller, who's the architect, if you haven't already, and also allow him to share his screen, if you don't mind.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Welcome, Mr. Miller.
Hello. Good to see everybody again.
Same here. So what are you going to show us? Some pretty flowers?
I know it's been a long evening for all of you, so I don't want to take up too much time. But I'd like to just quickly set a little context for the public. My name's Pablo Picker. I'm the owner of 181 Pearl Street. I'm also the developer. With me is Paul Miller, he's the architect on the project. Just going back, we've started this a couple of years ago, looking to build 3 units at this site. It's been a very challenging site, but we are feeling like we're on the home stretch here. We have received 3 hardship variances from this board. We are here tonight seeking a 4th. This came out in the end of site plan approval application review from PSOF regarding the landscape buffers. Paul's gonna speak a little bit about it, and we will follow the board's lead as to how much you'd like for us to speak to it. But essentially, it's a little quirky kind of situation where surface parking is not allowed within the landscape buffer. Our neighbor at 4 Dana Street, from the beginning, we actually realized after the purchase of the property that part of his driveway was in our parcel. Rather than pursuing that road, this is 2 years ago now, we met with him. We're very clear that we were intent on designing something not only to not mess with his driveway, but also just work within the context of our neighborhood. And so that's what we've achieved. But we have hit this snag because surface parking cannot be within that buffer. And of course, part of his driveway is within our lot. So we are seeking a variance for that. And we look forward to the conversation with the board. I will just note that the owner of 4 Dana also submitted a letter of support that hopefully the board received. I'll let Paul quickly speak and show the site plan so the board gets a sense in the public, and then if the board wishes, we can read our answers to the criteria into record. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Pablo. Is it okay if I share my screen now?
Please do.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so on the right here, I have our site plan open. The proposed site plan showing the proposed 3-story building with 3 residential units. I think you all are familiar with this project from our previous meetings. There are 10-foot setbacks from the 2 side lot lines abutting the neighbors at 185 Pearl Street and at 4 Dana Street. And the driveway here we've highlighted in yellow just to make it clear Where that sits relative to our parcel and proposed project. So as Pablo stated, the driveway is encroaching on the 181 Pearl Street property by about 3 feet 6 inches. And from the beginning of the design process, Pablo gave the direction that he wanted the neighbor to be able to keep their driveway, and that we would design around it. So we sort of set our project boundary along the east-west running line of their driveway, as you can see here. And we were very intentional about creating a buffer between our project, or between our building and the neighboring parcels, and went through, a careful site design process with our landscape architect, Ground Inc., and through consultation with the Urban Design Commission and city planning staff to create, in the side lot lines, it's an entirely permeable, paved or planted area. And I'm also happy to sort of read through our responses to the 3 criteria that are required if it pleases the board, or I can turn it over here for questions.
No, so one second here. I'm looking at it is Dana Street that you're sharing the driveway with, right? Dane Street.
Correct, for Dana Street.
Okay, right. And I'm looking at this here. It's the permeable pavers. What's going on? Yeah, so you're gonna do that. Do your presentation. We're not rushing out of here tonight. You both commented on that. We want you to do your presentation. Go right ahead. Show
Okay.
us. Everything looks
Okay.
lovely.
Okay. Why don't I pull up the landscape plan as well?
Yeah,
Let's see.
right.
So, thank you. So what we have proposed are planters that run along Pearl Street and Dana Street that would be full of native species that attract pollinators and add an attractive buffer along the street that we see as a neighborhood asset. We designed a bench on the Pearl Street side to tie into the stoop culture of Somerville. We wrapped the planter into the site for our side entrance into the lobby. And then these brown pavers that you're seeing here are all permeable in the window well, which provides light to the bedrooms that are in the lower level. That will be stabilized gravel, also permeable. So as I said before, both side yards are completely permeable. And in the case of the side yard shared with the 185 Pearl Street neighbor, there's also plantings there. So we feel that we've designed a kind of buffer, a landscape buffer, although it does not meet the last requirement in particular of the landscape buffer zoning ordinance, which states that you cannot have parking in your landscape buffer. And so allowing the neighbor at 4 Dana Street to keep their parking space violates that point of the zoning ordinance. And I just would like to quickly read through our responses to the criteria, because I think that that is what we're obligated to show in order to receive a hardship variance from this board, is that we meet these 3 criteria. And I think that we've clearly set out in this narrative how we're meeting those. So if you'll all bear with me, I'll just quickly read through this. So as it relates to point A, special circumstances exist relating to the parcel. As we just stated, the neighboring driveway at 4 Dana Street is using part of the property at 181 Pearl Street as a driveway. The driveway encroachment is 3 feet 6 inches wide along the entire northern lot line. Additionally, 181 Pearl Street is a small corner MR3 parcel at 2,024 square feet, is less than 1/3 the size of an average MR3 parcel. It is abutted on each side by NR parcels. A 10-foot side setback is required per SCO for any building in the MR3 district when it abuts NR. A 12-foot curb setback is required at the primary and secondary fronts of the building, and these proportionally large, a keyword being proportionally here to this small site, proportionally large setbacks on all 4 sides leave a very small developable area. So those are the special circumstances. Point B, literal enforcement of the provision of this ordinance for the district where the subject land or structure is located would involve substantial hardship, financial or otherwise. The proposed project allows the neighbor to keep their driveway as a gesture of goodwill. SCO section 10.3.6.B.8 prohibits surface parking within the landscape buffer. Literal enforcement of the ordinance would require taking the neighboring property's driveway back into the possession of 181 Pearl Street. This is likely to create a legal battle, which would be a financial hardship and would also create a contentious relationship with the neighbor, another hardship. And as Pablo said, he was clear from the beginning that he does not want that kind of contentious relationship. Point C, desirable relief could be granted without causing substantial detriment to the public good and without nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent and purpose of a specific district in this ordinance. Granting relief on the landscape buffers does not cause detriment to the public good. The proposed landscape design, including plantings and the perimeter brick wall that runs along the west and north lot lines, has been thoughtfully designed to provide screening, be a visual amenity, and meet the requirements of the green score, and to provide a buffer between the site and the abutting neighbors. We believe this design meets the intent of the zoning ordinance and the specific goals of the MR3 district.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, is there anyone here from the public that would have any questions or comments for the gentleman here this evening?
Chair Fontana, this is Kit. There's one attendee, but they do not have their hand up. If you'd like to speak, just put your hand up. No hand is beat. Oh, never mind. I'm going to Madison. Could you pull up the timer and we'll give Dinesh 2 minutes to speak.
Who is this going to speak?
You should be unmuted and able to speak. If you could just introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Dinesh, and I'm the owner of 4 Dana Street. I'm also calling to support the 181 Pearl Street architect Paul Miller and Pablo Picker in his generosity in sharing this, granting us the usage of the driveway. We've had the use of driveway since the 90s for 31 years. And to remove the ability to use it would cause us detrimental financial burden because one, my family uses it, and we won't be able to get any more permits as the city does not provide any parking permits. Second, we have sought out legal counsel on this, and they said we are within our rights to contest this. And third, I just think that, you know, it's supposed to be a sustainable project, and this is just going to not make it sustainable. And being a resident here for so long, I really would like to see this move forward as opposed to sort of making this a difficult process. I understand the legal boundaries of this, and I would really implore you guys to consider granting us this hardship. Thank you.
Great, well, thank you for coming out. Thank you. You know, to me, that's a plus that I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but I think it's a good start when the neighbors and the developers are coming together to make something nice. And I thank the neighbor for that, and I thank you guys for working with them, Pablo. That's been a real, I've said this before at the other meetings, it's been a real eyesore for a lot of years. And so this is going to be nice for the neighborhood and all the people that live down the street. There's a lot of residential there. I mean, the gas station's across the street, but then you got McGrath Highway in the front there. But you protected all that with the way you get into the building, Jazz. So a lot of thought's been given to this, and I appreciate it. I have a question. Did you guys get a landscape architect to plan out like these kind of flowers and stuff? I know a lot of them are perennials, and are they going to be able to tolerate that McGrath Highway traffic
Yeah, so
That's the
we
only thing.
worked
I
with,
think it's lovely. And
we-
I just hope when you go forward that whoever picks out the flowers and stuff that go in there can really take the heat and the velocity of the wind and everything that goes by there.
Yep. So we did work with Ground Inc. as the landscape architect, and these species are submitted as part of the green score.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
so this is what will be planted.
Great, I'm happy. I'm excited about it. I hope, you know, we can go forward on this. Anybody on the board have any comments for the guys, for Pablo or for Paul? I can't see anybody's hands. Could you clear your board now and give me back the screen?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Brian Cook.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to note that in the renderings, the Dana Street view gives you a real sense of what it'll look like. I think it's fine. I mean, yes, it's not a landscape buffer,
Yeah.
but it's a relatively pleasant divider. And since the neighbor is happy with it, and presumably provides enough privacy for the back of the new construction, I don't see any reason to oppose this. And I think the criteria, both submitted by the applicant and in the staff memo, sorry, the findings for the 3 criteria are quite satisfactory.
Thank you, Brian. Anyone else? You're all okay with this? Yes? Okay. Madam Clerk, could we please have a motion?
Absolutely, Madam Chair. Make a motion to approve the hardship variance for 181 Pearl Street, KCP 25-000057, considering the findings discussed in our meeting, shared in the applicant report and the staff memo dated July 10th, 2025.
Thank you. May I have a second on the motion?
Second.
Ann Brockelman, second. All in favor as we go around. Let's see, Zach Zaremba,
Aye.
Ann Brockelman,
Aye.
Ann Fullerton,
Aye.
Cece Daglian,
Aye.
and Susan Fontano, aye. Let the record show all members voted in the affirmative. Good luck, guys. We'll be watching out for you.
Thank you,
Thank
Madam Chair.
you.
Thank you, Board. Have a great
Have-
night.
Okay.
Looking forward to the
Thanks,
project.
everyone. Have a
All
good night,
right.
everyone.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Let's see. That was that. That was that. Is there any other business tonight that anybody wanted to discuss? No? I want to especially thank all staff that everybody, we had a good mix up tonight. Everybody kind of came out, Kit and Steve and Madison, and we didn't have to bother Sarah White. Hi, Sarah, wherever you are. And welcome in Alvaro and Lexi and all our gang. Thank you to our alternates. And thank you to our acting clerk. Excellent job. Excellent job. You guys, you 2 hands, Ian with an E and Ian without, going to be fighting for this. And Brian, you know, nobody wanted it. Now tonight we had everybody wanted it. So this is a good thing. I'm happy. So
Who's doing
unless
next
anybody-
time?
I don't know who's wants to speak up tonight while we're
I
all
can do
here.
it.
You can do it? Oh, what
Yeah.
did you hear? It's only 1 or 2 cases in August coming up. See how she spoke up, Cecia? In all
August,
seriousness, it's always a pleasure working with you guys.
August
You're
6th.
polite and you show the city proud. So thank you. Enjoy this warm weather. Stay cool. And we'll see you on, yes, Ann Fullerton.
Don't forget to adjourn.
I know. See, she gets me all the time. I see that finger going up and I'm in trouble. So without further ado, I'd like to have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to adjourn the zoning board of appeals meeting for, oh goodness, July 16th, 2025.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Second, Cece Daglin, she beat you to the punch, Ann. As we go around, please say aye. Ann Rockelman,
Aye.
Brian Cook,
Aye.
Zach Zaremba,
Aye.
Ann Fullerton,
Aye.
Cece Daglian.
Aye.
Let the record show we're all in favor of adjourning. Thanks, guys. Take care. Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.